We're not dead.
And I have in life. There's a lovely prayer you said, which I didn't know about. Pray you yourself and me?
Pray you yourself in me, a prayer of Metropolitan Filaret from Moscow.
Right.
Who, yes, was...
last century, I mean, so some time ago.
Some time ago, yes. But a great prayer.
Right. And
Lovely prayer. I'll put it on the
chat.
I'll put it on chat.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yes.
Great.
Lovely. Well, welcome to what have I just read? Because I've forgotten where we are. With Alison, with Malcolm, with Michael, and with
the jingle. Right. Great.
And
Isaiah 41.
Isaiah 41. Yes. So more of this prophet. Is it prophecy stuff? Yes.
This is yeah.
I've got to find it.
Here we are.
Thank you. Isaiah 41.
I mean, there's a particular bit I find at the end interesting with the water. When the poor and needy seek water and there is none, their tongues is parched with thirst. The Lord, will answer them. The God of Israel, will not forsake them. I'll open rivers up on the heights on the bare
heights and the fountains on the midst of the valleys.
Again, it's so poetic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Incredibly poetic. It's this picture of the fact that God is going to rescue the people. They've been slaves in Babylon for 70 years. He's going to bring them through the wilderness back to the land.
So is this between having fled from Egypt but before getting away from Babylon?
No. We've had... In the time of Moses, we've had the fleeing from Egypt to the Promised Land. Now we're about 1,600 years later after this.
But before Babylon.
We know that with his Babylonian power, and they've been taken captive from Israel, been taken to Babylon where they're slaves. And what God says is, I'm going to do a new Exodus. Just as I did 1,600 years ago, and I brought you out of Egypt into the Promised Land. So now I'm going to take you out of Babylon into the Promised Land.
So this is Exodus 2.0, kind of.
Exactly, and that's really good because
Exodus
the cross, the death and resurrection of Jesus, if you like, is Exodus 3.0.
Yeah.
To use your...
There we go, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Right.
What I find interesting with this, though, is he's talking about you, Israel, Jacob, my servant, Israel, my servant, Jacob, whom I've chosen, and talking all about that. And then suddenly he says, do not fear, you worm, Jacob, you Israel.
What's the worm thing?
Why is he suddenly saying that, Malcolm?
Because that's probably how Jacob and Israel felt at the time. We felt they were...
He felt like worms.
It sounds like God's going like...
Maybe he's not going, you worm.
No.
Don't feel like
you
worm.
You feel you worm.
It's probably more like that.
Yes, it's more like that.
Yeah.
Or he might have been saying, actually, you think you're... I mean, there are two ways.
Yeah, exactly.
One is that they were feeling very crushed. And he's saying, yes, don't worry, you are crushed, but it's all right, lifting. Or they might be feeling really rather proud of themselves. And God is saying, I don't think this is the case here. Because God is saying to them, just look at who you are in comparison to me. I think it is meant to be comforting.
Okay, you worm an insect. I remember that, Malcolm, when I say you worm one day to you. It's actually comforting. Comfortingly to you.
It's a good way.
Thank you very much. And does anybody know any good marital therapy sessions?
Worms and insects come into it, definitely.
There's an interesting here. It also wrote, you shall thresh the mountains and crush them. You shall make the hills like chaff. Which is interesting because that relates to Revelation. There's a whole bit about the islands running away and the mountains being pounded to dust. So it was quite an interesting connection between this reading and the Revelation that's coming up.
But also here, the transformation of creation, the transformation of the world. I'll make the wilderness a pool of water and the dry land springs of water.
Right.
I'll put in the wilderness the cedar, the acacia, the myrtle,
the olive.
I
love that.
I'll set in the desert the cypress. In other words, the creation itself will be transformed.
It's forest.
When God brings Exodus 2, Exodus version 2, Exodus version 3, and maybe at the end of time, Exodus version 4.
Right.
The final rescue.
Yeah, lovely. So yes, Shall we?
Move
And then
on.
Revelation 16, and we've now got the 6th and the 7th. We've had the first 5, and they were pretty grim.
Well, they're getting
And now
better.
6 and 7 get even grimmer.
Pouring his bowl on the river Euphrates to dry it up.
This is just amazing. I didn't particularly like this thing.
The demons.
And gave her the wine cup of the fury of his wrath. I do like that. It's like my anger is like the wine cup of fury. I love that sort of idea.
And remember that, you know, the disciples, when James and John, they talk about drinking, Jesus says, are you able to drink the cup with which I have to drink? And James and John say, no, and say, yes, we can. And he says, no, you can't. You don't really understand it because Jesus, and that's the whole point about the New Testament, Jesus is the one who drinks this cup of wrath.
Right.
The divine wrath, he takes it into himself on the cross.
Ah.
So that's sort of...
Right.
And you've got this sort of parody again, haven't you, of the Trinity, of the Holy Trinity. You've got these three horrible, the three foul spirits.
Yeah, the dragon, the false prophet.
From the dragon, the false prophet, and the
beast.
Yeah.
That's
again,
great. Yeah, great. Yes, and then I feel like the one sort of the ray of light that comes in. You know, see, I am the warning. I am coming like a thief. Blessed is the one who stays awake and is clothed, naked and exposed to shame. A great theme, awakes, that's our theme for Sunday.
Yes, keeping awake, keeping prepared.
Haven't I seen someone coming like a thief before? It feels like that verse feels very familiar.
It is in the New Testament, isn't
And
it?
Jesus uses
I'll
it.
come
Jesus
like
says
a
it,
thief.
I'll come like a thief in the night.
You see, and he says stay awake, so this is why I never go to bed. So I was just wondering whether...
Right, we understand that.
Exactly.
We understand.
So all come and watch movies with me at midnight.
We would if we could stay awake.
Right.
It's the trouble.
I did actually watch a baby film last night. I meant to watch it a bit earlier, but I started watching it at 12:30. About McEnroe, actually. It's a Matt McEnroe documentary. It's really fascinating.
I love John.
And I actually had to have this very...
That was very interesting. Have a great day.
Thank you, Cyril. Yeah.
I had this amazing revelation actually, as I was watching about Christ and John the Baptist. But because whenever McEnroe met Bjorn Borg, it was sort of almost existential, those tennis matches. It's actually very interesting when you talk about it, because they all went to 5 games, and they even won on tie points. That never happened before. But they said they became great friends, and there was this amazing, and they said because of them, they both got much better, and the whole game of tennis changed.
Oh, right.
And so they were, and I was trying to think. I've always tried to wonder why. I was always trying to wonder why John the Baptist. I was trying to begin. I thought, I wonder if there was a thing there about because there's John and there's Jesus. When there's together, there's a sort of this amazing link that makes everything, pulls us all up somehow in a way. I don't know. That sounds pretty ridiculous, probably, but I did suddenly think that whilst I was watching that film yesterday.
Fantastic.
That's really nice.
And on that bombshell,
And on that note, game, set and match.
Game, set, match. Yes,
Brilliant.
exactly.
Brilliant.
Right.
Have a lovely day, and hope to see you tomorrow.
Indeed. Happy Thursdays. Bye.
Bye.